Section 64 of a Guidebook of Art, Architecture, and Historic Interests in Pennsylvania, edited by Margaretta Archambault. This LibriVox recording is in the public domain. Read by Tatiana Chichilla. Elk County. Formed April 18, 1843, possesses everywhere great scenic beauty. A large herd of elk, last known herd of the Black Forest, still existed, for which the county was named. The last elk was killed in 1857. The Black Forest formerly covered a vast area of northwest Pennsylvania, the deep green of the hemlock giving a mystery of blackness. Here many varieties of large and small animals abounded. Climate and geological formation differ from surrounding counties in ratio of altitude. The growing season is usually 2 or 3 weeks later on account of late frosts. Agriculture is now chief industry. Bituminous coal was discovered by Blind Mike on Priest's Land at St. Mary's in 1853 and is continuously worked. Natural gas, oil, high-grade clays, and shale are other mineral resources. Jim and Andy Park, 3,600 acres of almost virgin forest stocked with deer, through which a trout run flows, is the property of heirs of Senator James K.P. Hall and Honorable Andrew Call. Permission to inspect the park may be obtained at office of J.R.P. Hall at St. Mary's. Ridgeway, county seat, laid out in 1843 and named for Jacob Ridgeway, Philadelphia, who was United States Consul at Antwerp. Population 6,037. Courthouse, center of town, built in 1872, brick with clock tower, surmounted by a large statue of Justice. Stands in a well-kept park with jail in the rear. Main street, very wide, paved with brick, has many fine residences. Forest Lawn Cemetery contains the Hall and Hyde family mausoleums and a large community mausoleum built in 1912. St. Mary's, 10 miles from Ridgeway, along the state road through beautiful scenery, is largest town in the county, population 6,967, known as the Summit City on a high plateau, altitude 1,660 to 1,950 feet, has wide streets paved with brick, and is surrounded by a fertile farming country. The Charles A. Luke Memorial Park, 4 acres, acquired by gift in 1873 for the public, was laid out by George C. Miller, landscape gardener of Boston, Massachusetts, in 1914, through St. Mary's Village Association. St. Mary's Roman Catholic Church, oldest and largest in the county, built in the 50s by the German Catholic colonists from plans made by the late Ignatius Garner, native undressed sandstone, recently dressed with cement, spoiling its rusticity. In St. Mary's Cemetery are buried Baron von Essel and many war veterans. Large German Benedictine college and convent conducted by the Sisters of St. Benedict, established 1862, is one of 3 schools in America which teach the Delisade system of voice culture, introduced by the Venerable Sister Marie, who learned the system of the great Italian master. In the convent is said to be an original Van Dyck painting. Sacred Heart Church, native sandstone, Gothic. The Shiloh Presbyterian Church is an ecclesiastical building of native sandstone. At St. Mary's and Kersey Road is a small chapel, wood, Old German design, built in 1870 by the late George Decker, in fulfillment of a vow. Prayer service is held here at stated times. Going east from Kersey, road leads through the Barrens, a sandy, rocky stretch of land denuded of vegetation by forest fires, on the old Belfont Pike. Scenery is wonderful toward Mount Zion, where there is a typical country church and burial ground. At Mount Zion Corner, the road takes 3 courses. Left leads to Burndale with its 50 coke ovens, coal tipples, and washer plant. Wilcox, in northern part of county, lying in the famous gas belt of Elk County, has a large glass factory. A few miles back is Tambine. Near here, President Grant, guest of General Thomas Kane, spent a day fishing for trout. From Wilcox, along the Big Level Road, is Rosellas. Here Captain, later General Kane, pinned a buck's tail on the hat of Hiram Woodruff, first member recruited for the Bucktail Regiment. On the old Milesburg and Claremont Pike, William C. Walsh carried the first mail through this section in 1828. End of section 64.